Did you ever want a Philly cheesesteak, but you sort of wanted to stuff peppers too? Philly cheesesteak stuffed peppers. This is really, really easy, but you kind of want like unusually large bell peppers. If you can't find them, that's okay. Like our red one is kind of small-ish, but it's not so bad. What I want to do first, these have been washed. I'm just gonna cut them in half and make like boats, if you will, see? And then I want to cut the ribs out very carefully so that you don't lose structural rigidity.
You can also use your fingers if you don't want to cut them out. You can kind of tear them out.
You can. I like to use knives. It's more fun.
I don't, because I cut myself.
Yeah. Oh, also you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I probably should have said that first. So all these innards, where are they going?
They're going in the broth bowl.
Which is right here.
That's why I brought it over.
So I have the stem here. I don't really want to eat the stem, so I'm going to cut that part out. Just kind of break it off.
Now, of course, you could just cut the tops off and stuff them that way, but it tends to be a little more tricky.
Yeah, I've done it both ways. Either way that you like is best. You got that? All right, and I'll go to the next one. And the next one. We're making 6 of these today, 3 whole bell peppers worth. But you know, you can make as much or as little as you want. And the reason why we're making this many is because it's probably about how many, I might eat 3 of these for a meal. I'm a big eater.
Yes.
She's right. You can just totally do this with your fingers. It's so much easier. As long as you don't break them.
Yeah, just be delicate.
Yeah. Get all the seeds out. Unless you like eating the seeds. I don't personally like the seeds a lot. How's it going over there?
It's going well. Also, these bell peppers are all the same type of bell pepper, even the green ones. They're all the same thing.
See, I read on that, and that's not entirely true. They are different. I mean, they're all bell peppers, but they're not just different stages of ripeness.
Okay.
They don't start green, then turn yellow, then orange, then red.
Well, the ones I'm growing do.
Okay. Oh, I read up on that, and they don't all actually do that.
Yeah, I think there's some that are bred specifically to be a specific color.
And I'm just gonna put these on there's what do you want to call this? A grate, yeah, a cooking grate. I'm just gonna put them face down. The exact order doesn't matter. You can alternate colors if you want to. And then they're gonna go in the oven for about half an hour. What you wanna do is bake them until they're just soft. So like 20 minutes to half an hour. 20 minutes, start checking them so that you don't overcook them, because then they'll just fall apart when you go to stuff them later. Okay, next up, this is a soy curl based dish. And for that, I'm just gonna use about a cup of soy curls. I don't usually really measure these much because they vary. Like I have 2 bags open almost all the time. One is like a fresher bag that has all big pieces like this in it. And then when I get to the bottom, there's like little bits and stuff. I keep them in a separate bag and I just keep adding to it. And then I keep saying that one of these days I'm just gonna like throw them in the food processor and make TVP out of it. And I do on occasion, or I'll just use them in like a sauce or something where it doesn't matter as much. But for this, you kind of want, you know, nice sized pieces.
Because we're replicating a cheesesteak, and those tend to be in strips.
Yeah. And really, really simple. I'm gonna add some water. Make sure they're all in there, make sure they're well covered with water, and then set it to the side for like 10 to 15 minutes. That's it. Okay.
Next.
Hold on. Gotta wash up. Gotta wash the hands in between everything. Okay, what's next?
Are we making the cheese sauce next, or are we prepping more veg?
Oh, we should probably make the cheese sauce next.
All right. Since you are tall, could you please go get the cashews?
I will go get the cashews because I am tall. I have gotten the cashews. How much did I say?
You said a 1/4 cup. Nope. You said a 1/2 cup.
I was going to say, I never do 1/4 cup of anything.
1/2 cup of cashews.
And, you know, you can be a little off. Doesn't really matter. That's about a 1/2 cup. You know what? I think I want a little bit more because we're making 6 of these things. So like 3/4 to a cup. Chef snack. It's a moral imperative when you open a bag of nuts to have one.
2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast to make it cheesy.
Also add some umami and a little bit of protein. Nan.
A teaspoon each of onion powder and garlic powder.
I'll do one at a time. Now, I put the garlic powder and onion powder in this mostly because cashews are a little sweet. And if you don't, it comes out kind of weird.
Odd.
You don't have to though, especially since it's just gonna be like a topping. But I do think that the little bit of garlic and onion adds to it. So.
Then to give it that cheesy tang, we're gonna do a teaspoon of white wine vinegar.
If you wanted to, you could use lemon juice or apple cider vinegar. I'm just gonna use white wine vinegar. I find it's the most neutral and actually has the sourness that you usually get from cheese. What is it, a tablespoon?
Teaspoon.
Oh yeah, tablespoon.
All right.
I wrote that wrong. And then?
And then a half to a full cup of water.
See now, this is where it kind of comes down to preference. If you like it to be really thin and runny, then go with a little bit more. If you like it to be a little thicker, go with a little bit less. I'm gonna go like halfway to 3/4 here. I got like 3/4 of a cup in there. And then I'm gonna blend it and see how I want it so I can adjust that thickness. Because again, when you try measuring out exactly the right amount of cashews or something like that, you know, there's air gaps, there's broken pieces, it varies. I'm using a NutriBullet. By the way, we have links to this one in the description if you like it. We are Amazon affiliates. We do get a little bit of a commission if you purchase using our links at no additional cost to you. And that's the end of the sponsored video. But I do love my NutriBullet. Since I got it, I barely use the blender of the Vitamix. I actually use this.
This is not a sponsored video.
No, they didn't. No, we paid for this with our own money. Okay, give it a little shake. Get all the stuff off the bottom and then blitz it. Okay, I ran it about 1.5 cycles because it looked like there was a couple of chunks in there. So it heated up a little, which means I gotta sneak up on it or it's gonna spit at me.
Yeah, because it built up pressure.
Yeah, I don't want it to spit at me. I want all the cheese sauce on my stuffed peppers, not on my shirt. All right, there we go.
And at this point, it's really important to remember it's hot.
Yeah.
But also to give it a little taste. You want to make sure that your proportions are right and see if you need to make any adjustments.
It smells like cheese. At least it smells what I remember, like what I remember cheese smelling like.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Okay. And I just want to get some of that out and, you know, of course, drip it everywhere because it's what I do. But I wanted to show you the texture. See, it's runny, but it's not like it's kind of like cream. Almost,
yeah.
Maybe even like a double cream or super thick cream. All right, give it a taste. It tastes like a cheese sauce. You want some?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
All right. So set that to the side. If you want to refrigerate it, you totally can. I think it works a little bit better when you do because it gets just a touch thicker. Anyway, let me wipe up the mess. I'm gonna work on a little bit of a sauce to make the beefy flavor. Now you might be thinking, oh, you should just add that sauce right to the soy curls. Well, here's the thing. It doesn't actually stay because we're gonna be squeezing that out. So I'm gonna make a sauce that I can actually apply right in them. And that was the messiest way to get this stuff out, but it's towards the bottom of the jar. And
So what is that stuff you're using, Brian?
Oh, that is better than bouillon. No beef base. It's totally vegetarian, totally fine. It's just a bunch of seasonings. By the way, it's starting to smell like baked bell peppers in here, like roasted bell peppers. I love that. Anyway, I used, how much did I put in the description?
1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's about what I used, give or take. If you have like veggie broth or something like that, you can totally just use that too. It's all good. Don't get too crazy about it. The flavor is going to be there anyway.
And you added that to roughly, what was that, like a half a cup?
That was like a 1/4 cup of water.
Okay.
Yeah, well, almost a half cup. You're right. I did not put any seasonings in the list for this, but I think I want to use a little seasoning. I'll be right back. Now, there's a little bit of flavor coming from that no beef base, but to really amp it up, I like to use dark soy sauce. Now, if you just have tamari or regular soy sauce, that's fine too. I'm just going to do like a splash, like half a teaspoon. Don't need much of this stuff. It's actually quite powerful. And this is a vegan version. It's actually mushroom flavored. I don't taste the mushrooms in it, but it does taste really good. And you'll see, look at how fast it darkens that up. Beautiful. Now we'll herbify it a little bit. Some parsley. Just, I don't know, a teaspoon of dried parsley maybe?
I'm augmenting the notes.
Yep, I didn't write that down. A teaspoon of oregano, just to add a little herbiness. And then give it a little punch and just a little smokiness, because that seems to work well with a cheesesteak. A little bit of smoked paprika. And I'm just gonna do literally like a teaspoon. So a teaspoon of all three of those things. You can do more, you can do less. You can add other herbs if you want to. I'm not the herb police. And I just want to give that a good mix together. Now it's time to check on our peppers. By the way, if you're curious as to why I put them face down, if they go face up, they'll hold liquid in them and kind of boil rather than roast.
We don't want soggy peppers.
These are perfect. There's just a little bit of give to them. Perfect. I'm just going to set them to the side to let them cool so I can handle them.
So how long do you say that was?
That was 15 minutes.
15 minutes at
350 degrees Fahrenheit.
All right.
I'll put the Celsius right here. I'm going to leave the oven on because these get baked.
They do.
Not yet. So I'm going to turn the oven off. Okay.
All right, so now we're going to prep the rest of our veg. Now, cheesesteaks tend to have a pepper and onion mixture.
They can. Depends where you're from.
True.
Some people get crazy about that stuff.
This is also true.
Yes, I am from Pennsylvania. I have had actual authentic Philly cheesesteaks, and I've seen how crazy people get. Some people don't like to have mushrooms in them. Some people get offended if you put bell peppers in it. Some people get offended if you put ketchup on it.
Ours will not have cheese whiz, that's for sure.
Cheese whiz is actually like the basic component, though.
Yeah,
that's what they use.
I know.
We're not doing it.
Aren't you proud of me that I actually know that?
Yeah. Some people get really mad at me because I put ketchup on cheesesteaks. Sorry, that's how I eat them.
But
I'm doing it.
because we're stuffing bell peppers, we're going to omit the bell peppers from our veggie blend.
I was going to put them in anyway, and she said not to.
Well, you can. You totally can if you want to.
Now, for how to slice these, I'm just going to make, you know, little 1/4-inch pieces like that. Nothing fancy. All that wrapping and the ends and stuff, they go in the broth bowl. I just didn't do it. See, normally this cutting board is over there.
Yep.
And I just cook and I put everything to the side, and then she takes the whatever goes in the broth bowl later. On camera, you know, as soon as you turn a camera on, all hell breaks loose. It's just like everything that can go wrong goes wrong. You forget stuff that you do every day.
Come on, stuff's going pretty good today, so let's not jinx it.
See, you're the one that's going to jinx it because you just said it's going good. So now it's going to go wrong. Okay, you know what? I want to get a pan heated up, so I'm just going to put a frying pan on the stove. I'm going to put it about like 5.75 on our stove out of 10. And yeah, I'm just slicing up the onion. You've seen this before. Someone along the way asked how to properly cut an onion, and we thought about doing a video on that, like ways to cut an onion. If that's something you'd like to see me do, let me know, and we can make a video on how to cut an onion. There's a few different ways to do it. I'm not a pro at it, but I've cut a few thousand onions probably, you know. All right, next is the mushrooms. Now first, on every mushroom, there's that little bit of a stem that just looks gross. It's probably totally fine to eat, but sometimes they have the growing medium on them still. But that's broth bag material right there. And I'm just gonna slice them up into about the same 1/4-inch or so slices. My knife is getting dull.
It's time to show.
Yeah.
That's a video you can do.
I did on a different channel a long time ago, and it's not there anymore.
All right.
Actually, it might still be on this channel. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
If it is, I'll link it in the description below.
The idea is we want to just, you know, combine these together. I'm going to cook them together, so really, really simple. I think this is an after work type meal. Because so far, 15 minutes to bake the peppers, I for sure thought it was going to take longer than that. I seem to remember it taking a lot longer. But I used to boil them too. That I found would cook them way too fast, and they got overcooked.
Yeah.
Really
You would
quickly.
still want them to have enough structure that they're going to work as a vessel. Otherwise, you're going to have a big mess.
Okay, time to go to the stove. All right, straight into the pan, and I just like to break up those onions a little tiny bit. Should hear a little bit of a sizzle if your pan was hot enough. Yep, there we go. And get them moving around in the pan a little bit. I'm not going for caramelized so much as I'm going for cooked. So, you know, don't get too crazy. There's going to be some liquid coming out from the mushrooms. That'll happen in just a minute. Notice no oil added. Don't need it. This will cook just fine without it. All right, let's check on those soy curls. What I usually do to know if they're ready is I just kind of feel around in there, you know?
You're going to fondle your soy curls.
That's right, you kind of have to. You know, feel around. If you feel any parts that are like
Crunchy?
hard or feel crunchy, they're not ready. But these are pretty much good. So I am going to just start grabbing them and squeezing them, and it, you know, it just squirts everywhere, and it's okay. Give them as good a squeeze as you can, and then you have your soy curls. This is probably my least favorite part of doing this. A, because my hands are starting to hurt, and B, because it's kind of nasty. I just don't like having stuff like this on my hands. But it's so worthwhile.
We used to just use them as is, and if we did a soaking, it was normally with a marinade.
And they got used like 3 times, and I went, nah.
And then a commenter said, why don't you pre-soak and drain them? And we were just like, huh?
Changed my world. That's our timer for the peppers. They're done. Can you please hit the timer? And in this case, we're actually going to be hydrating them twice. Like I hydrated them and then got all this nasty stuff out. But they're gonna go back in the pan with the onions and the mushrooms, and then we're gonna add the juice. You like it, a juice. And that is going to rehydrate in. And it's kind of like my mushroom method where I let them soak everything up. That's what we're doing. So right now I'm getting rid of some of the excess liquid in the onions and the mushrooms in preparation for these guys to go in. So as you can see, there's some liquid coming out of our mushrooms and the onions too. And I just want to keep them moving a little bit. I don't really want a lot of color. I'm just looking to kind of soften them up a little bit. Looks like they need a few more minutes though. All right, so these have cooked down a little bit. I'm gonna add in our soy curls, start moving them around. I want to kind of cook them a little bit, but not too much. You know, a little crispy edges, a little char is a good thing in my opinion. I've not changed the heat. It's still set to 5.75. It might be 5.8, actually. I don't know. Can you tell?
You can't tell.
It's pretty close. I'm joking. You could just put it to, you know, medium high. It's fine. Okay, before this starts to burn, in other words, you don't want it to burn, I'm going to get that juice and pour that in there. Before you start thinking that I just ruined the dryness that I just created, I really didn't. And let me explain why. This is where all the flavor is going to come from, because now the mushrooms and the onions and the soy curls are all going to soak up that liquid, and I'm keeping the heat on. And if you could smell this right now, it smells amazing. And the trick here is I want to cook it down until it's almost dry, not quite dry, just almost dry. In other words, I don't want liquid in the pan, and we're almost there already. Doesn't take long. Wasn't much liquid. Okay. So just a couple more minutes and our pan is mostly dry, and our bell peppers are, you can touch them. They're not that hot, they're warm. I turned the oven back on 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We always get asked that, is it Fahrenheit or Celsius? 350 degrees Celsius is really, really hot, just so you know.
So is the 300 what it's at now?
That's what it's at now, it's warming up.
Ah.
Yeah.
I'm getting used to this new oven, so pardon me.
You and me both. Okay, and now I just want to put some filling into each of these peppers. That's it. Kind of distribute it equally, you know. Some of them are bigger than others. We don't judge. They just get a little more. I was looking at the pan going, did I really make enough? Is it, whoop, escapee. Not getting away. I was wondering, like, did I really make enough? And yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
This is where cutting them this way makes stuffing them so much easier. If we just did the top part, it tends to get more difficult to try to cram your stuffing in there, make sure each nook and cranny is filled without breaking your pepper.
You have to cram your crannies. Get in there. Might even have extra. By the way, this is really good. You can put this on just about anything. Honestly, I would wrap this up in a tortilla and eat it like a fajita or a taco. I'm totally cool with that. All right, and I'm just kind of going around, and the first couple maybe didn't get as much. So fill them in, get every last piece. You paid for those onions.
Now we are attempting to stay true to the cheesesteak motif, but this is basically a jumping off point. You can add whatever you wish to this.
Like what?
Like if you wanted to add rice or another grain to this.
Yeah, rice would be good.
Totally good.
Yeah.
If you wanted to add beans to up your protein, you can do that as well.
Shockingly, though, the soy curls have a lot of protein.
Right.
So
right.
This is already fairly high protein.
Yeah. I just know that we've enjoyed lately combining different protein sources.
Yeah, I do like to do that. I do like to do like a TVP and a bean kind of deal. It's up to temperature. All of our appliances sing to us.
They do.
And I'm finally learning which singing means what. Like before it was a timer. That means I'm up to temperature. It's all good. Okay, this is gonna go back in the oven for not long, 15 minutes at most. I basically just wanna heat it through and maybe crisp the top a tiny little bit.
We are not gonna add our cheese/cream sauce at this time because it tends to discolor when baked.
You can though. If you really want to, you can totally add it now. Now, it wouldn't be complete without some sort of green thing in there, you know? By the way, speaking of green, you can use green bell peppers for it if you want to. We just, you know, there's more anti-inflammatories in the colored ones. So that's why we use the colored ones. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. It's also because they were the biggest ones they had at the store. And green ones, I don't know, they're almost a little bitter compared to the yellow and the red ones.
Yeah, I think more of the fruitiness comes out of the colored bell peppers than it does the green ones.
Now, this that I'm holding in my hand happens to be the green tops of onions. These are, if you've ever seen where I hand Erica the small part of a scallion or a green onion, she replants them, and this is what grew out of them. You have a video on that on your channel, right? We can link the video to that. And this is gonna be like our topping, our condiment. And I'm just using some scissors. These are my food shears. I have 2 pairs. One's blue, one is orange. The orange ones are in the wash right now. And I'm just cutting them into, you know, 1/4 inch little pieces. You can use a knife. I saw the scissors there and I went, yeah, you know what? Let's just do it that way because this is super quick and easy. We like super quick and easy.
We do.
Most things are not super quick and easy. So when you get something that is.
Enjoy it.
Yep. I always run into problems when I get towards the end though. Like, what do you do? I don't want to get nasty ends.
That's when it's less than quick and easy.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do it?
Nope. Coordination. It's a thing. You get the idea. Cut up some scallions. And then these ends, these go in the broth bowl. So after 10 minutes, they're nicely browned. A little bit of crispness on some of the soy curls. Ha, perfect. So we're just gonna choose one of these. Which one do you like? I'll get it with tongs.
All right. We've selected our victim. It's time to dress it up.
All right.
Now we know Brian wants ketchup on this, but
Shh, you're not supposed to say that.
he wants ketchup in there. So we're
That's
gonna
right.
put the ketchup on first.
This is Heinz Simply before anybody freaks out.
So no high fructose corn syrup.
Right. And, you know, ketchup may not be the healthiest thing ever, but it's my favorite sauce, okay? Give me a break. And I'm using, I don't know, what, like a tablespoon of it maybe? All right.
Now we put our full thing of cheese sauce in the fridge.
For all of like the 30 minutes that it's been since
So
we started.
it's not really cold, but it is cooler than.
Oh, I'm not doing it.
Right, I'm doing it.
I'll make a mess.
I'm probably gonna make a mess anyway.
One sec. That was the timer to take them out of the oven. I took them out a couple minutes early.
Because this really isn't a pouring vessel, but I want to kind of drizzle.
Yeah, get some on top. You got it. You did it.
Yeah, I wanted to be thinner and pretty, but yeah.
Oh, I wanted it to drizzle over the side like it did.
Oh,
You did good.
do I need more?
Do a little bit on the other side because we got to do a thumbnail and a food porn video shot that they're going to see. You've already seen it. Just a little bit drizzled around. I think that's good.
All
That's
right.
great.
And then we got the red, we got the creamy color, and now we're gonna have our fresh greens on top.
And you can serve this like with another vegetable. You can serve it with rice or whatever you want, really. The sky's the limit. But now I got to take some pictures of it. No. I got to take some pictures of this and make a little video that you've already seen.
Now we've already eaten today, but my stomach is like yelling at me, feed me, see more, because this smells so good.
It does. So in we go. It won't be pretty, but it's going to taste good. Want a big bite?
Sure.
There you go. Have a big bite. Don't drop it.
Stop.
Everybody's watching.
I don't. This is gonna end in tears.
Wow, that was a huge bite. You good? That is surprisingly tasty. What really comes through is the texture of the pepper. Because there's just a little bit of like, not crunch, but the chew to it still. That's perfect.
It is perfect.
Because that combined with the soy curls really works well. And then the freshness from the scallions and the creaminess of that cheese sauce really does make a convincing cheese for this type of thing. But the real star of the show is the ketchup. I will understand if you don't want to use ketchup in yours. However, I think the acidity, the brightness, and the sweetness of ketchup actually complements this really, really well.
I have to agree.
So if you don't want to use ketchup, you could put a little bit of tomato paste on there maybe if you want to. But, you know, there's always alternatives. Let's talk storage options. You can, before you stuff the peppers, freeze the filling, right? Or you can store it in the fridge. Once these are put together, you could probably store them in the fridge for a couple of days, but they might start to get limp. Like the peppers are going to go.
Yeah, you might want to put them in like in a casserole where you can pack them together so that way.
That would actually be perfect because then you could bake it all together to reheat it. You could also freeze them once they're put together. Now, just remember, when you defrost those peppers, they might get a little watery. So what I might do if I knew I was going to freeze is not cook them as long before we bake them. Actually, I wouldn't bake them. I would put them together and freeze them like that and then bake them afterwards once they're defrosted.
Yeah, you can wrap them individually in tinfoil and that way you can bake them right in the tinfoil packet.
That's true, I never thought of that.
And that will kind of do a baking steaming combo because they're in a little pouch.
But this is wonderful and it's so simple and, you know, reasonably low calorie, reasonably healthy.
But certainly packed with flavor.
And took less than an hour to make. So super easy, you can make a lot of them super quick. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on The Bistro. All right, let's shut that off and eat.